What's up, guys? Welcome back to LambVision Studios. Today I'm going to be doing a UEFN tutorial, and we're going to be showing you guys how to make teams in UEFN. I've seen a lot of tutorials out there, and honestly they leave out a very important step, and stay tuned for that at the end. But we're going to be doing that kind of similar but a little bit different, so go ahead and stay tuned for this entire tutorial so you guys can figure out how to do it correctly. Now, this is not going to be using any verse, and I've had some people want to know how to do this without verse, so we're going to do that today. So when you start a project, you should have 2 player spawners, and they're going to be on team any. So what's going to happen when you start the game, you're automatically going to be put on team index 1, even though that says any. Keep that in mind, guys. When you are starting the game, you will automatically be put on team index 1. Okay, so to make these teams, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get our devices out. So let's get what devices we need for this. We're going to need a mutator zone. And what I like to do is go ahead and make that zone depth to 0.2, just so it's a flatter box. And that's what the player is going to run into to change the team. We'll get to those settings later. Let's go ahead and get our devices out, and then we'll set up the settings, and then we'll set up the functions of each device. So we're going to go ahead and grab a class selector device. You can find that there. Looks like this. It doesn't really matter where it is, to be honest, but I like to just kind of have this organized. So we're going to take both of these and just set them in the center of this. We'll keep everything nice and pretty looking. Okay, now we're going to need a teleporter. And that is going to teleport the player somewhere whenever they change to that team. So we'll change to the area you want your team to go to. We are going to need a player counter just to see if the players are getting counted. Now, you don't have to use a player counter, guys, but they are pretty nice to be able to see what's going on in the game. And we are going to need a team settings and inventory device. We'll just set that in front here. Okay, so since our player is on team index 1 when they first join the game, let's go ahead and take these 2 spawn pads here. And let's go ahead and copy and paste. So let's go ahead and do 4 players. Now, you can do as many players as you want. I'm just going to do 4 for this tutorial. Alright, so now we have our devices, we've got our player spawners. Let's go ahead and go into our island settings and change some things there. Go to our island settings and details, and yours might look a little bit different because this is the newest update as of 12/4/25. So yours might look a little bit different, but it's going to have the same settings. It's just going to be a little bit more organized in these new tabs. So yeah, there's that. But what we're going to do is just set your max players to however many spawners that you got. So I've got 4 spawners, so I've got max players set to 4. And now for teams, we're going to set this from free-for-all to team index. And you're going to set this to the number of 1 higher than however many teams you want in your game. So if you want 2 teams, like Team A and Team B, you're going to want team indexes and then set this to 3. So that blank index, that would be index 1, is going to be your actual players. Now stay tuned because this isn't going to fix all your problems. I've seen a lot of tutorials try to do this, but they leave out an important step. So you're going to want to stay tuned at the end of this video to see that important step to actually make this work. What we're going to do, I'm going to actually move these player spawners back a little bit just so they're not in the way of anything. Let's move them to like right there. Okay. So this is going to be our team index 2 setup. We're going to set up our team index 2 and 3, which will be team 1 and 2 technically in the game. Now I'm going to use simple names so you guys can kind of see what each team is called. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into our teleporter first. We're going to go ahead and set up its settings because it's probably the easiest. And we're going to go to teleporter group and we're going to set that to none. And teleporter target group we're also going to set to none. And if you want, you can turn off the Rift visible effects and play visual effects if you want. I'm going to just go ahead and set those off as well. And I don't think we need anything else right now. So now we want to go into our class selector. Now this is probably the most important device because it's going to be changing your team. So we're going to go to team to switch to. Now if you want to switch to a class, you can also do that. But we're just going to do teams for this tutorial. So team to switch to, we're going to go to team index and we're going to set this to 2. Now this is very important, guys. Team index 2. Not team index 1, team index 2. All right. We're going to go ahead and set up its functions as well. And we're going to change the player to team. Now, if you're doing team and class, you'll do this one. Or if you're just doing a class, you'll do this one. But if you want to change player to team, we're going to do this one. So the function, we're going to set this with the little eyedropper tool to the pick mutator zone. And we're going to set that to on player entering zone. So when they enter the zone, they're going to change teams. Now I like to set this time to switch to 0.1 just to give it a little bit of time to register. So we're going to go ahead and go to our player counter. And we are going to set our target player count to however many players you want on that team. So I just want 2 on this team and 2 on the other team. So we're just going to set that to 2 for now. And we're going to set this counted team. Now, if you want to do class, you can do it here, but we're going to do counted team here to team index 2. So all of these are going to be set to team index 2. So the player counter, the team settings and inventory, and the class selectors. All right, so we're going to actually get this to register player. We're going to go ahead and set that to the mutator zone. Now, why am I not doing it off the class selector? Because it just doesn't work as well. And you'll be able to see that it'll change teams anyway. So it's just better to do it off the mutator zone. So on player entering zone, we're going to register the player on that team. So the player counter will register it once the mutator zone has been hit or players entered the mutator zone. So now our team settings and inventory device. And we are going to set our team name. Let's do our team 1. Let's make them students. Since you guys are students technically. And we'll set your team to the students. We're going to set the team index here to 2. Again, all these will be set to 2. And you can set a team color if you want. They're kind of buggy. The team names definitely work, but the colors are a little bit weird. So we'll set that to red, orange. And I believe that is all we need for that setting right now. You can always change how your player reacts to the game in several ways in these settings here. So this is how you would change your player, like say if you want them to be able to pick up weapons, if you want them to do damage, if you want them to be able to build, this is where you would change everybody on that team's settings. Go back to our teleporter and we need to activate it. So we're going to go ahead and teleport on the mutator zone as well. On player entering zone. All right, so we have all of our settings there. So I believe everything has been set up for the first team. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and copy and paste this for our second team. Most of the functions will be copied over, but the teams won't. So we're going to go ahead and go to our team settings and inventory device, and we're going to call this teachers. And we're going to set that to team index 3 and the team color to blue. All right. Now we're going to go to our counter, and you got to make sure you change this to count the right team. So counted team, we're going to go to team index 3. And same for our class selector. We're going to go to team to switch to, and it would be team index 3. So team to switch to, team index 3. That's very important, guys. All right. So I believe that is all the settings we need for now. And I'm going to go ahead and test this, guys, just so you can see what happens if we don't do that initial last step. Let's go ahead and set our mutator zones here so we can see them. I forgot to do that, guys. Now you can turn this back off if you want to put them in front of something to be the teleporter. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do that and save the game. And let me show you what this does because of how the teams actually work in this game. Like I said, your player is going to be in team index 1 when you start. So when we are starting in the game, you can see that it's not working. What it's doing is actually glitching and put us on team 1 for some reason. Now, that's very weird. And that's because nothing is identifying us technically to the team selector that we are on team index 1. So basically when we start, we're kind of like an unknown member. Nothing in the game has actually registered us, even though it's registered to index 1. So what we need to do is tell the game that when players spawn, they're for sure on team index 1. Is we're going to go ahead and end the game here, and we're going to copy and paste just the mutator zone, just the team settings and inventory, and just the team selector, class selector. And we're going to copy and paste that. And what we want to do here is change the settings in here. So we're going to set the team name for the team settings and inventory to no team. And we're going to set the team to team index 1 and the team color to white. And we're going to do the same thing with our class selector. Team to switch to, team index 1. So team to switch to, team index 1. And I believe that is all for now. We can change the accent color if we want to white, just so you can do it for all of them if you want to. Go ahead and, figure out which one you're doing. But essentially, this is what's going to be changing the colors here. So if we want to do this one, let's go ahead and change this to a gold. So red and gold. So like I said, the colors are kind of buggy. And I don't know why they haven't fixed it yet, or if I'm doing it incorrect. But we'll change a couple of settings and see if we can fix that later. But let's go ahead and test it out and see if it works. So we're going to go ahead and grab this mutator zone. And what I want to do, this is very essential, guys. We're going to make this zone kind of a decent size, and we're just going to bring this over our player spawners. So this is our initial player spawners, and we're going to drag this over our spawners. And that's going to automatically change them to team index 1 when the game starts. So let's go ahead and save here. And we're going to push changes. All right, so we're back in our game, and let's hit the M or menu, or however you open the menu if you're doing it on console. And we'll see our scoreboard has us on no team. So now we're not on a team, and we need to choose a team. So what we're going to do is choose a team. So boom. And you'll see that it only counted us for this team. And it put us on the students. So it worked correctly. Now, say if I want to switch to the teachers team, I go through there. And it's also teleporting us. So that's great. So it's putting me on the teachers team, and my first character is still on no team. So let's see if our second character walks through, if it will be put on the students team. All right, it looks like it worked. And like I said, the colors, for some reason, it may fix when you actually publish your map, but the colors just do not work that great. So the main focus here is just making sure they're on the right team, and it's working so far. We can go ahead and see if we can change a setting. Maybe we can change the color problem here. We'll see. Let's see colors. And let's change UI team colors to team color. And let's see if that just fixes anything. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and test this out. You can see we have our player spawners, and they're on no team. And they're going to choose a team through here. I'm on no team when I'm starting in the game. No team. And I'm going to go ahead and select a team here. We'll go to the students. And you'll see that I'm on the students team. Now the colors, guys, again, that will fix itself once you publish your map. Sometimes it does it before then. If you keep resetting over and over, I don't know why it's glitched like that, but it will fix the colors later on, I promise. So we're going to go ahead and go into the teachers here with my friend, and he just went into the teachers. And there we go. So you can see it's putting us on the right team. Now, there's one more crucial step to this. And basically, whenever you die, so we'll go ahead and show you guys what happens here. So I'm going to go ahead and start my game here. So say if we have chosen a team and somebody kills me. Watch what happens. So basically, when I die, it's actually putting me back on no team. And that's something that we do not want. That can be an issue. We want us to be put back on the right team. And we also want to be on the correct spawners whenever we come back from a respawn. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take these spawners here. And we're going to look at some settings here. We're going to make sure that the player class is set to any. And enabled during gameplay is going to be set to always. And the player team is also going to be set to any. So just make sure that's set right. And what we're going to do is we're going to copy and paste these. So we need 2 for one team and 2 for the other team. So we're just going to copy 2 here. And we're going to go into those settings. We're going to set the team index to team index 2 for the first team. So whenever they respawn, or somebody respawns in the game, they're going to go back to team index 2. Now this will only happen when somebody has actually chosen a team. So we're going to go ahead and take the other side, and we are going to copy and paste those as well. We're going to set those to player team index 3. So whenever somebody dies and they respawn, they're going to be sent back to these spawners. So these spawners here are technically just your initial game spawners when you start the game and you haven't chosen a team yet. And these spawners will be your spawners when you have chosen a team and you respawn from dying. So we're going to go ahead and select all of these. And we want to set the enabled during, this is important guys, and we're going to set these to enabled during phase, and we're going to set this to gameplay only. That way, they're not always being used for these new spawners. And we're going to actually use at island start. We want to turn this off. Now, this whole setup, I'm not exactly sure if it will work with a pre-game lobby. But basically what this does is you can actually make your pre-game lobby just using these spawners and put them anywhere on the map that you want. And you don't actually necessarily need a pre-game lobby. But now that we've got these settings, I'll show you guys one more time. We're going to set enabled during phase gameplay only on the new spawners, and we are going to set them to their proper team indexes. And you'll see that I have team index 2 for these and team index 3 for these. And we're also going to set these to not use at island start and make sure that these are on use at island start. All right. So we're going to go ahead and save this, and we're going to hit start game, and let's test it out and see what happens. Okay, we're on no team, you can see, and I'm going to go ahead and just choose the students, and it has put us on the students team, which is team 1, and we'll go ahead and make my friend go in the team 2 there. And you'll see it put us on the right team. And like I said, for the colors, guys, just keep resetting. Eventually it will fix itself, or it'll fix itself when the game is published. I'm not sure why that glitch happens, but the colors should work. It works on my other map just fine. All right, so let's go ahead and take out this second account right here and see where it spawns. All right, and there you go. You see it is spawning there on the teacher's team, so they are spawning on the teacher's spawn there, and they're not going back to the original. And it looks like it's working so far. Let me go ahead and do it again. It looks like it's working about every time. Now, what would happen if they kill me? Will I go back to the first spawners over here? Let's see what happens. And there you go. I'm spawning on the right spawner. And everything seems to be checking out, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Josh at Land Vision Studios. If you guys need help with anything, please leave a comment and let me know what you need help with. This is how to make teams in UEFN. Hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I'll see you guys on the next one.